Are we doing the word-for-word translation? No, we're doing translation. O Lord, during the time of maintenance, you manifest several incarnations, all with transcendental bodies beyond the material modes of nature. When you appear in this way, you bestow all good fortune upon living entities by teaching them to perform Vedic activities, such as ritualistic ceremonies, mystic yoga, austerities, penances, and ultimately samadhi, ecstatic absorption in thoughts of you. Thus you are worshipped by the Vedic principles. Srila Prabhupada's purport is Divine Grace. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Yagyadanatapa karma nachajam, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, charity, austerity, and all such prescribed duties are never to be given up. Yogodanam tapaschaiva pavani manishinam. Even one who is very much advanced in spiritual realization must still execute the Vedic principles. Even in the lowest stage, the karmis are advised to work for the sake of the Lord. Yagnatat kamano yatra lokayam kamabandanaha. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to the material world. The words yagnatat kamano indicate that while performing all kinds of duties, one should remember that these duties should be performed to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Svakarmana tam abhyarchya. According to the Vedic principles, there must be divisions of human society. Chaturvayam mayasritam. There should be Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And everyone should learn to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, tam abhyarchya. This is the real human society. And without this system, we are left with animal society. The modern activities of human society are described in Srimad Bhagavatam as the activities of Gokara, cows and asses. Saeva Gokara. Everyone is acting in the bodily concept of life, involving society, friendship, and love for the improvement of economic and political conditions. And thus, all activities are enacted in ignorance. The Supreme Personality, therefore, comes to teach us how to act according to the Vedic principles. In this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preached that in this age, the Vedic activities cannot be systematically performed because people are so fallen. You have to slide the page up a little bit. He gave this recommendation from the Shastra. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalonasteva katiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore teaching people all over the world how to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And this has proved very much effective in all places at all times. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in order to teach us Vedic principles intended for understanding him. Vedaista Savarahameda Vedya. We should always know that when Krishna and Lord Chaitanya appeared, they appeared in Shuddha Sattva bodies. One should not mistake the body of Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be a material body like ours. For Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as needed for the benefit of the entire human society. Out of causeless mercy, the Lord appears in different ages. In his original Shuddhasattva, transcendental body, to elevate human society to the spiritual platform upon which they can truly benefit. Unfortunately, modern politicians and other leaders stress the bodily comforts of life. Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridatuke. And they concentrate on the activities of this ism and that ism, which they describe in different kinds of flowery language. Essentially, such activities are the activities of animals, the eva gokara. We should therefore learn how to act from Bhagavad Gita, which explains everything for human understanding. Thus, we can become happy, even in this age of Kali. Om Gyantamarandhyasya Gnanjanan Shalakaya Chaksharam Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master is kindly opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Let us offer respectful obeisances unto him again and again. So, we have a request. Please, everyone, please take a moment, make a prayer to Krishna. Everyone, make a prayer to Krishna. Krishna, please bless us. We ask Krishna to bless us. That what we have to say is only what we've heard from Guru and Shastra, with no distortion and no inappropriate motivation. We come together to hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is an offering to Krishna. This is a sacrifice of our attention and our time. We want to hear what Krishna has to say. And this offering goes to the Lord, and he is pleased by our sacrifice. In the beginning of the Kali Yuga, the sages at Nambasharanya, they saw the coming of the dark age, and they were concerned for the people, and they performed a sacrifice. Henry, what was that sacrifice? You know? No? They heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. They couldn't get the fire going. So they said, okay, we're going to do a yajna, sacrifice, 1,000-year sacrifice of hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're continuing that sacrifice today, right here, as an offering to the Lord. And this counteracts. It says wherever these pure topics of the spiritual world are discussed, the Vaikuntha atmosphere is evoked. We hear the truth, and thus we become free from anxiety, right? Anxiety is caused by our inappropriate desires. Shrinvatam svakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana vidyantasto vabhadra nibirinoti saritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, the Paramatma, the super soul in the heart of every living entity, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of one who relishes these messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. This is Krishna's indication in the Srimad Bhagavatam. What happens when we hear, material desires are cleansed? Isabel, what do you have to say there? We welcome your comment. You see your hand up. Unmute yourself. You can speak, please. Isabel? Nope. Okay, anyway, this is the process. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is the effect. And it says here in this verse that Krishna appears. Krishna appears. Krishna, how wonderful is Krishna? He appears. The demigods were in distress, and they approached the Supreme Lord. And he said, okay, it's a difficult time. The demons are in ascendance. The demons are in ascendance. Therefore, it says, if you can't lick them, join them. He said, therefore, work together with the demons. And Krishna presented this idea. You can work together and churn the milk ocean. The great task. Imagine an ocean. And so they approached the demons. The demons agreed to work with them. Now, to churn an ocean, you need a very big churning rod. So they weren't sure. So the Lord said, take the Mandara mountain, which is a gigantic gold mountain, very heavy, and put that in the ocean and use that to churn the ocean. So all of them together, they're very powerful, the demons and the demigod, they lifted up this mountain, this golden mountain, and they began to try to carry it to the ocean of milk. And what happened? Who knows? The mountain was so heavy that it smashed them. They all got flattened, crushed underneath the mountain. A lot of them were killed. So, Vishnu, the Lord, appeared with Garuda. He lifted up the mountain, he put it on Garuda, and he glanced over the demigods and brought them back to life. And the demons, he brought them all back to life. We'll wait till the siren goes by. So then they took the mountain on Garuda's back. They went to the ocean and they threw the mountain into the ocean to serve as a churning rod. But it was so heavy it began to sink. Again, these endeavors in this world, gosh, every endeavor is covered by fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. No matter what we try to do, there's going to be a wrinkle. There's going to be a bump in the road. There's going to be some obstacle. There's going to be some unusual, something that impedes what we're trying to do. It can't be avoided. Everything we do, it says. So the mountain was sinking in the ocean. So again, Krishna appeared as Kurma, the turtle, gigantic turtle, and he supported the mountain on his back. That's Krishna. How wonderful is Krishna? But the mountain was sitting on the round back of the turtle, and it wasn't very stable. So, like it says in this verse, Krishna appeared on the top of the mountain with a multi-armed form and stabilized so the mountain could rotate on Kurma's back, and Kurma was his itch on the back was being relieved. So then they needed some means to wrap around the mountain, and the Vasuki serpent was provided like a rope. And so they could churn the ocean by pulling on the different ends of the serpent's body and spin the mountain to make it churn the milk ocean. Okay, now we're churning. Then what happened? Poison came. The first thing that came from the ocean was a bunch of poison, dark, evil. Even the vapors from the poison could kill all living entities. So Krishna appeared and requested Lord Shiva to glorify his devotee. He asked Lord Shiva, can you take care of this? So Lord Shiva very kindly gathered up the poison and drank it, and he held it in his throat. That's why he's called blue-throated. Lord Shiva has a blue throat. He sucked up all the poison. A few drops fell aside, and different serpents and scorpions and poisonous creatures licked those up and became empowered with the toxic potency. But basically, Krishna appeared when the mountain was crushing them. He appeared when the mountain was tipsy this way and sinking as Kurma, as the Vishnu form on top of the mountain, stabilizing the mountain. Then he got Lord Shiva to drink the poison. So it didn't go smoothly. there were difficulties. And it's recommended that we persevere. Matrastosha to Kauntinashitosha Jukut, non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, heat and cold, fame and infamy are going to appear. Success and failure are going to appear. Pleasure and pain are going to appear. The storms of life will come. And Krishna recommends to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, one must tolerate these things and not be disturbed. And what is not disturbed? Our service. When we have guru, when we have prescribed duty, when we have a service, then no matter what the result, no matter what the apparent impediment, we just keep going. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. There's going to be difficulties. There's going to be imperfection. Okay, so they churned the ocean, different things came out. Then the nectar came. That's what they were trying to get. And who appeared? Krishna, Vishnu, in the form of Dhanvantari, bringing the pot of nectar. Okay, we got the nectar. What? The demon stole it. What? After all that, the demon stole the nectar. So what happened? Krishna appeared. Like it says in this verse, the Lord appeared as Mohini Murti. Beautiful female form. And she said to the demons, "You give me that nectar." Okay. They were like, "Oh, okay." They just gave it to her. So Krishna appears. He appeared on Vishnu to carry the mountain. He appeared as Kurma to support the mountain. He appeared in the Vishnu form to stabilize the mountain. He appeared to request Lord Shiva to drink the poison. He appeared, again and again and again and again. And Krishna, he's a friend of the devotees. He never leaves us. And these ups and downs are expected. And then we turn to Krishna. How wonderful is Krishna? He's always there for us. And in many different ways, he appears in our life to sustain us, to protect us, to guide us, to rescue us. Because Krishna loves us. And he's concerned for our benefit, our ultimate benefit. Therefore, do not be discouraged. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Sarvadhamam parityagya, surrender, masujaha. Do not worry, do not fear, do not hesitate. Do not worry, do not fear, do not hesitate. So these are commands. These are given directly by the Supreme Lord. The principles of religion in this verse, it says, are enunciated by the Lord. So the Lord says, do what I tell you. Do not hesitate. Do not worry. And do not give up your service. You're entitled to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. So that's our guiding star. Other things come and go. It may look like this, it may look like a failure, it may look like success. People may praise us, people may blame us, people may persecute us, people may laugh at us, people may ignore us, but we go on with our service. Shruti Kirti was telling us, he was traveling with Srila Prabhupada. Was it Shruti Kirti? Yeah. And everywhere he would go, when Prabhupada would land at the airport, there would be hundreds of devotees chanting ecstatically, jumping up and down, throwing themselves down in obeisances, pouring tears, joyfully roaring in ecstatic kirtan. And Shruti Kirti said he was just carrying Prabhupada's suitcases, calmly walking behind him. And he said, I didn't feel the ecstasy. I didn't feel the tears burning. I'm with Prabhupada 24/7 for months and months. And I was just kind of like, I'm just going on. Felt like maybe I was dried up. And so that day when he was giving Prabhupada the massage, he said, Prabhupada, I don't feel any ecstasy. I don't feel any bliss. I'm not pouring tears of joy when I see you. I'm just dry, empty. And Prabhupada didn't say anything. So Shrutikirti was like crushed. He was cooking at the same time while the massage was going on. He went and prepared Srila Prabhupada's plate and brought the plate in. He said hours and hours and hours had gone by. And Prabhupada didn't say anything. He revealed his heart. He told Prabhupada, I'm not feeling so blissful. I don't feel anything. And then he said, Prabhupada very quietly looked at him and said, just do your service. Just do your service. Don't worry about bliss. Don't worry about ecstasy. Just do your service. And he was like, right, okay, wow, what a great answer. So the demigods continue with the endeavor to churn the ocean. All these different things came up. Every one of them seemed like the end of the road. Some of us feel like it's the end of the road. That's it, I'm finished, I'm not going to make it. I'm toast. I'm crispy critter. I'm burnt. Right? Who was saying that recently? How do you avoid being burnt? Somebody, who said that? One was Mataji in class. And the answer was, be attached to the endeavor. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the result of your activities. And you are not entitled to the fruits of action. We only get burnt, frustrated, when we want something and we don't get it. But if you don't want anything, you're just doing your service, satisfied to do your humble best. And our criteria is whether or not Krishna is pleased. Sangsadiya Haritoshanam, if Krishna is pleased, we are successful. And if we're trying, Krishna's pleased. It may seem humble, but if that's our prescribed duty and we're doing our humble best and offering it to the Lord with no attachment to the fruits, that is the success. You have a comment, Ananda Vihari? See you popping up here?
Yeah, it's a little poetry break. Do not worry, do not fear, do not hesitate. Simply keep your service going. Krishna's got your back.
Right, that's how Lila Mataji said. Krishna's got your back. Don't doubt. That's it? Andrea, love that poem. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Anyone at any time, feel free to hit that mute button and jump in here. We're here to glorify the Lord together. How wonderful is Krishna? How wonderful is Krishna? We are satisfied living in the forest of Vrindavan. Children are chanting. We are satisfied living in the forest of Vrindavan. We can choose to be satisfied or we can choose to be dissatisfied. From Andrea to, can you sing another song? Yeah, we'll sing a song. I hope you can hear this. Okay. There are songs about Krishna and there are songs to Krishna. Krishna lover of my soul, let me to thy strong arms fly, while the years of life still roll, while the chance is still nearby. Hide me, please hide me, Krishna, till the storms of life are past. Safe into thy haven guide me, please receive my soul at last. Let's sing that verse. Krishna, lover of my soul, let me to thy strong arms fly. Here I come, Krishna. While the years of life still roll, while the chance is still nearby. Hide me, please hide me, Krishna, till the storms of life are past. Safe into thy haven guide me, please receive my soul at last. Other refuge have I none, all I have, my Lord, is thee. Leave me not alone, still my help and comfort be. Your boundless love surrounds me, love to cover all my sin. Your boundless love astounds me, make and keep me pure within. Krishna, lover of my soul, let me to thy strong arms fly. While the years of life still roll, while the chance is still nearby. Hide me, please hide me, Krishna, till the storms of life are past. Safe into thy haven guide me, please receive my soul at last. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay? Krishna, lover of my soul, let me to thy strong arms fly. Any other questions or comments or angles of vision? Hare Krishna. We have a long way to go. I'm telling you. I've been, like Prabhupada's grace, Prabhupada accepting me as a disciple in 1974. For almost 50 years, 7 days a week, I have nothing but Krishna's devotional service. And that's all I need. I told everybody my mother was saying years ago, you haven't had a paycheck in 45 years. Why don't you get a job? Why don't you get a job? Right? Your sister's husband has a job. He's got a retirement fund. He works for the telephone company. I said, Mom, I'm working for God. He's not going out of business, you know? We've got a job. My Uncle Andy, my godfather, who was a mafioso guy, he said, Adi, you want a job? I'll get you a job. You need a job. I said, Uncle Andy, we have a job. They don't perceive the contribution of the Brahmins as a job. The communist countries were thinking that these people are just parasites. All they do is collect donations. They have these church buildings. They don't produce any, nuts and bolts. Why don't we turn these? They closed down the churches and turned them into factories and storage houses and stuff. They threw out all the nuns out of the convents, and they wanted to have a godless civilization, with the government being the supreme controller, and somehow or other, remove. Chamunajaya has something to say. You have a job. Hey, you have a job.
Now, I was thinking, Adi, you have more than a job. You have service.
Service, love.
Which is even bigger than some governmental job.
Prabhupada. Tell me, Mataji, what are the duties of the Brahmin? Tell me, what are the duties? You're being trained to be Brahminically by spiritual masters.
What are the
Six duties of a Brahmin.
What about it's interesting that my guru always says that in the Bhagavad Gita, the qualities of the Brahmin are, or it's their character and not specifically.
Right. Those are the qualities of the Brahmin. Samadhammas tapasa cham santamevit. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, religion. Those are the qualities of the Brahmin. What are the duties of the Brahmin? Not just how they do, but what do they do? What do they do? Because people are saying, what do you do? You don't have a job. What do you do? What do you do? Come on.
To live the principles, to please Krishna, and just distribute the knowledge.
Well, that's the bottom line. The first is distribute the knowledge. The first two duties of the Brahmin are to study the Veda and to teach the Veda. Those are two. They're couplets like that. Study the Veda and teach the Veda. So definitely you're here in class, you're studying the Veda. And every day we look forward to your comments. When I grow up, I want to be like you. You are teaching us. Yeah, we're very grateful to see you. Okay, so study the Veda, teach the Veda. Those are the first two. The second two, engage in worship. Establish and maintain temples. And you look at Radha Muralidhar, they are so pleased. Vasudeva Prabhu and his crew, they're doing such a wonderful job taking care of her. So engage in worship and introduce other people to that experience, to that discipline of worship. Just like Angelika yesterday, she called me, she said they're offering me first and second initiation. Did you hear about that? Woo!
Oh, Jai!
Yeah, first and second at the same time. So Vasudeva, you notice he's always bringing other people to be included in the worship. So that's a duty. That's a duty to engage in worship. At one point, I was on the altar here for 5 years, 7 days a week. Krishna moved me to some other focus, but still, that's our duty, to engage in worship and to invite, include, train other people into that experience, in that discipline of worship. So study the Veda, teach the Veda, engage in worship, and bring other people to worship. And the other two, the Brahmins, their duty is to interface with the public, to go out, to request, to inspire, to encourage, to convince people to give a donation. They may not be in the temple, but they can give a donation. They may not be distributing Krishna's prasadam, but they can give a donation to support that. They may not be directly distributing books, but they can contribute and financially to give books to the book distributors. So collect donations, to ask people to give, and that's really my service for 25 years directly, and still now every day I ask people for donations. And they do. They not because we're trying to get something from, we need money, no, because we're trying to give you a chance to do something that's good for you. Please do this. Take up. And when you ask them for a donation, then they have all these questions. What is it? And then we have our answers. That devotional service is the life of the soul. That this is appropriate. That you are a servant of Krishna, and you should always give something. Even sometimes we approach people, well, I'm on a fixed kimbap. Well, then give us a word of encouragement. Right? You can engage anybody and everybody in giving something. So that's a duty of the Brahmins. And if the Brahmins do that, just like we were speaking to Carlina Rivera, who's the congresswoman here, Prabhupada, you see, he always goes to the leadership people, to the either in the entertainment industry or the government or the management of, and he would tell them, give a donation. You have this factory making glass, but where did you get the glass from? Where did you get the sand from? You stole it from Krishna. So you should give a donation. You should always give something. So we're supposed to ask for the donation. And we collect as much as possible. We're not shy. I would say, I will take it. right? And we maintain ourselves with the minimum simple clothing, simple residence, simple food. We maintain ourselves with part of the donation, but most of the donation we give back to society in the form of temples, in the form of literature, in the form of classes like your classes that you're giving, in the form of the performing arts, the graphic arts, temples, so that prasadam distribution. So we give it back. We collect the donations. That's a duty, and we give it back to society in the way that it will uplift society. It's like the government collects taxes, and then they use the taxes to support the police department, the fire department, the garbage collection, all these different things. So these are 6 duties of a Brahmin. And when the Brahmins do their job, everybody else falls into place. You light the fuse, and there's an explosion. So the Brahmins are missing, and then Prabhupada was trying to bring us into that standard and engage us that way to contribute. It's a very important contribution to society. Without that, it's a misdirected civilization. This literature is meant to bring about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilizations. And the Brahmins are studying the Vedas and teaching the Vedas, and the people will see the actual situation and act properly. I'm sorry, what do you have to say? I've talked too much. Okay, I'll go to Prabhupada.
No, I was just listening. Thank you so much for that, Adi. Thank you.
We're only repeating Srila Prabhupada, that's all. That's all we have to give, that's all we got. Anybody else, please? Dr. Schick, I see you're ready to jump in there. Dr. Schick practically breathes Shastra. Please, unmute yourself.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu, thank you. I was just wondering, the point of the class was, you were saying our guiding star is the verse that goes, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. And never consider yourself to be the cause or results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Right.
So wasn't this whole endeavor to churn the ocean a fruit of activity? And why did Krishna do that?
If we do what Krishna asks us to do, it's devotional service. It may seem fruitive, it may seem useless, we may not understand it, but that's just like we were talking the other day. The Lord asked Abraham, go kill your son, take him up on the mountain and make a sacrifice. If that's what Krishna asked him to do, he was ready to do it. So they approached the Lord and said, what should we do? We're in a situation where we don't know what to do, but we'll do whatever you say. He said, okay, churn the milk ocean. And they did that, and what happened? It gave us a chance to see Krishna in action in so many different ways. And it gave us a chance to see that Krishna is there to support us, to protect us, to rescue us, to provide for us. So, what's his name? In the Job, he was asked to do, he said, Lord, I'll do whatever you want. Okay. And then the Lord took everything away from him. And his service was that he remained faithful. The good Lord giveth, the good Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. He remained faithful in happiness and distress, in disaster. He remained, blessed be the name of the Lord. He remained, and therefore, he illustrated by his activity, and we're hearing from it thousands and thousands of years later, that faithfulness no matter what happens. So if that's what the Lord asked them to do and they did it, then that's devotional service. Yeah,
but where does it say that they didn't know what to do and Lord Krishna told them to churn the milk ocean? I thought it was their desire.
No, it wasn't their idea.
Where does it say that?
But read the Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Actually, I was just listening to Vaisheshekha Prabhu's class last night, and he said that the Lord told him to do it. I haven't read that section of the Bhagavatam in a while, but last night I heard Vaisheshekha Prabhu say that the Lord Vishnu told them, okay, I tell you what. He said, the demons are in ascendance. It will not be productive for you to try to counteract them at this time. work together with them. They are in ascendant, so therefore join forces with them to churn the ocean. Churn the ocean?
Yeah, but
That's what he asked me to do, so I'm going to do it.
the result, though, was nectar,
Tadvadi
right?
Pranipati, inquire submissively, and then do what the Lord tells you to do.
Wasn't the result to get the nectar, though?
Result was to please Krishna. Obedience. Pleasing Krishna. We might think that the fruit of the action is the nectar, but what's actually happening is we're showing other people that we'll do what Krishna asks. And it may not be understood by material calculation. But if you do, go kill your son on the mountain. How is that? Is that fruit? No. He was willing to do whatever Krishna asked. Jesus said before he was crucified in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, Lord, this is a very bitter cup. I mean, I know about this whole thing coming up tomorrow. I would rather not drink from this cup, but I will do your will. If that's what you want, that's what I'm going to do. Anything wrong with that philosophy? Lord, what do you want?
Surrender is the bottom line.
What? Yeah, surrender. Any other questions or comments? That was a very intelligent question. We hope you'll accept the answer. Or if anybody else wants to answer it. This whole devotional service thing is a tremendous adventure with many chapters and many interesting challenges. And we're learning by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're learning how wonderful is Krishna, and we're learning about so many devotees that went through adversity. Jittabhart had the adversity of entering an animal body. Chitraketu had the adversity of becoming a demon. People had different forms of things that seemed unpleasant. Look at all the things the Pandavas went through. Their house was burnt down. They were cheated. They were sent into exile. In the gambling match, they were sent into exile. I mean, there's devotee after devotee after devotee after devotee after devotee in the Srimad Bhagavatam experiences adversity. There are ups and downs. It seems like Ananda Vihari wants to say something, yes?
Yeah, there's a question in the chat box from Angel. How do we know what Krishna is asking us to do?
Very
Yeah, how do
intelligent
we
question.
know? How do we know if Krishna is pleased with what we're doing? If ups and downs are coming anyways, so how do we know if this is a down or maybe Krishna doesn't want it, or maybe this is an up? I mean, Krishna still doesn't want it or wants it.
Well,
Sometimes it looks random. How do we know if Krishna is pleased with our endeavor?
the point is, do you want to know what Krishna wants you to do? In some situations, people approach the Lord. In other situations, they approach intoxication or depression or, some kind of frivolous or degrading activity. But a devotee, he puts it before the Lord and says, Lord, I don't know what to do. Just like they went to the Milk Ocean. We don't know what to do. The earth is overburdened by demoniac kings and their military forces. We don't know what to do, but we'll do whatever you want. He said, okay, I want everybody to go to the earth. We're going to have a real cool little pastime here and clean up the clock. When a person approaches Krishna and asks, that's the first step. Not just speculating, not just saying, I don't know what to do. And then some people hear what Krishna wants and some people don't hear. And if we have an attachment or an aversion, I want this answer, I don't want that answer, I want this answer, I like this, I don't like that, I like this, I don't like. If we have an attachment or aversion, we will not hear what Krishna has to say. Krishna is totally capable of speaking. He wants to speak. He can speak. Don't say, I can't hear. You can't hear because you have an attachment or an aversion. So he's asking how do you know? How do you know? Do you want to know? Krishna will speak to you through a dream, through a child, through a madman, through a voice from the sky, through a book. Krishna will speak to you. If you ask And you be very careful about attachments and aversions. Is that a satisfying answer, Angel?
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Very satisfying to me.
The
Yeah,
truth.
thank you.
The simple truth. We see a 22 in the chat. What are they about? Oh, it was suggested, not offered. Okay. A beautiful distinction. How do we know when Krishna is asking what to know what to do? Go to the milk ocean. Pray, yeah. Nanda Bihari and I have a picture in the office of the demigods at the milk ocean. And when we don't know what to do, the two of us stand before the picture like this and say, Krishna, we do this all the time, right, Nanda Bihari? Krishna, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, we go
But
to
we'll
the
do
milk
whatever
ocean
you
all the
want.
time.
Huh?
We have a tent. We have a tent on the shore of the milk ocean. We're just always there. Somewhere or other.
There's a lot of things we don't know what to do. But we say, Lord, we don't know what to do, but this is your place. We're your devotees. We want to do it the way you want. We'll do whatever you want. We'll do whatever you want. Show us and we'll do it. And he will. Why not? You can't hear because you have attachments and aversions. Any other chats? Pray and listen and listen. Yeah, the Lord speaks to us in the silence of the heart, and we listen. Don't think he can't speak. That's ridiculous. When they say I don't hear, I like that picture of Jesus knocking on the door. You ever see that? You ever see that picture? He's knocking on the door of the heart. And if you look at that picture closely, there's no doorknob on the outside of the door. We have to open the door from the inside. Right? He's not going to break down the door. Krishna's ready to guide us if we're willing. We were listening to one nurse. She has a little niece, nurse niece. The nurse niece was asked, she put the stethoscope on the niece's little 5-year-old girl. She put the stethoscope on the little girl's ears, and she held it to the little girl's heart. And she said, do you know what that sound is? And the little girl said, is that Jesus knocking on the door of my heart? She could hear boom, boom. Hey, did that apron fit Becky Bunny?
No, it's
Little?
it's too little. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to make another one.
Kartik has a very intelligent question in the chat box. You see it, Adipusha Prabhu?
Just read it, I can't see it.
Okay. Wonderful class, thank you. I wonder, what does the poison emerging from the milk ocean signify before the nectar comes up?
It signifies that in every endeavor there's going to be some fault. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. No matter what we're trying to do, there's going to be some impediment, there's going to be some challenge. Satchidananda was telling, your spiritual master was telling Hari Prasad, Hari Prasad, if something is worth it, there's going to be some austerity you're going to have to go through to get it. Right? There's a price to pay. That's the way the material world is a place of suffering. It's a place of impediments, one after another. In every endeavor, there's going to be some poison coming out at first.
And Krishna showing up later if we persevere, right?
Why not? If we're doing what Krishna wants, Krishna will help us. He'll give us just enough time, just enough money, just enough strength, just enough intelligence to do what he wants. But is it what we're doing? Is that what he wants? Or is that something that we're some extravagant endeavor for some mundane thing that's not good for us and really not on the first priority of what Krishna's asking? Look what Prabhupada went through. Huh? Coming to New York in the winter without money, without help, without a place to stay, without, wasn't there poison? Didn't they steal his typewriter and his manuscript? Right? Didn't he flee from some crazy, intoxicated roommate? So in the beginning of the endeavor, there was all kinds of toxic impediments and problems and challenges. But Prabhupada just persevered. And interestingly enough, we were just hearing about Subal. There was a restaurant donated to the devotees in Hawaii. I think it was Hawaii. And then Subal was running it and taking care of it. And then Prabhupada went there and he said, "So you're my disciple? This restaurant was donated. So is it your restaurant or my restaurant?" Subal said, "It's mine." So Prabhupada just walked away. And then they asked Srila Prabhupada, should we go after them with litigation? Should we get a lawyer? And Guru Kripa Maharaj was saying, "Yeah, we should get a lawyer. We should get this guy. Prabhupada said, "No, we don't work like that. We're working on the basis of love and trust. If he's not giving, that's it. That's his problem. I'm not getting a lawyer." Nanda Vihari was a lawyer.
Yeah, but there was another.
What?
There was another instance where Prabhupada did lawyer up. He did hire a lawyer, and he fought.
Might be in the New York Temple. They just went through a tremendous battle. I think they spent about $400,000 on lawyers. So it depends on what Krishna wants. If Krishna says fight, we fight. If Krishna says, in that case, he said, not lawyer. We're going on the basis of love and trust here. There are different circumstances. But in either case, if we're willing to do what Krishna says, if he says get a lawyer, get a lawyer. If he says don't get a lawyer, don't get a lawyer. Whatever Krishna wants, that's our criteria. Not one size fits all. It says 3 new messages. What are they? Wonderful class. What does a poison? Thank you, very helpful answer. Adi has an airband B on the Milk Ocean. I don't know what that is. Oh, an Airbnb on the Milk Ocean. Yeah. Yeah,
Bhima Prabhu is surfing.
What?
Bhima Prabhu is swimming in the ocean. He's surfing and having fun. He's there.
Yeah. Any more questions, comments, angles of vision, wisecracks? We're open to hear.
So let's sum it up, Adi Purusha Prabhu. In order for us to hear clearly what Krishna is trying to communicate to us, we need to 1, 2, 3.
Ask him.
Ask him. Okay, good. Next.
Then look into our own heart to see if we have attachment or aversion to this particular answer or that particular answer.
Ask him. Look for attachments and aversions. Okay, listen to
whatever Krishna
madman.
asks you to do. Whether you prefer it, whether you understand it, whether it makes sense logically or not, if that's what Krishna wants, I will do that.
Okay.
What's the use of
suppose
there's
suppose I'm not attached or averse, then what do I do then?
Then just be willing. Krishna will speak to you through some means or another.
No. What I'm trying to take it to is that we need to try things out sometimes. If we don't try, how do we know?
Well, if Krishna says try, then try.
Sometimes we just don't do anything and just, I'm not sure what to do. But without trying things out, it's hard to see if they are worth it. I've experienced, and you always tell me, try things out. It doesn't hurt to try, right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure, why not? Good. Okay. So it's 8 o'clock, unless there is Arjuna Prabhu, would you like to contribute to this class? I see you're here.
He sees you. He's offering.
I miss Arjuna Prabhu's voice cracks. The class is not the same without it.
Sometimes the sadhu speaks, sometimes he is silent.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just makes facial expressions.
Oh yeah, I missed that too.
Right now he's rubbing his nose. I don't know what that means.
Okay. All right. Adi Purusha Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam, King of Books Ki Jai. Radha Muralidhar Ki Jai. Shri Gaura Chandra Ki Jai. Devotees attending class regularly Ki Jai. Okay. Hare Krishna, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for being here. And see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is Bhima Prabhu, his giving class.